Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to episode 110 of the Spare Change Challenge. We're just getting going here. I've maybe been playing 5 or 10 minutes. Not too long. Of course, we're playing the normal 100 NL. Nothing's really happened so far. I don't think there's been an all-in. I did check shove a turn after I turned flush draw, open-ended flush draw. Blind versus blind, but other than that, and he didn't call, so just won a medium-sized pot there. But the games don't look spectacular. There is this guy who is 80-70 with 57% 3-bet so far. So we're going to be 4-bet shoving pretty light against him, and he's double stacked, so he's got some money. Probably not opening the Jack 9. It's not quite good enough, I don't think. Jack 9 suited might be close if he's 3-betting wide there. I mean, if he truly is 3-betting this wide, it would be, but could be a sample issue, but we'll see. But we're going to pick a hand that we're confident stacking against like a 30% range first, and then go from there. And there'd be some hands we could limp shove as well, but I think against this guy, he'd rather bet shove, raise shove than the former. It's just making him put more money in the pot, basically, before he folds or calls out, makes a bad call, you know. In case he folds, he puts more money in that way. I'm gonna go ahead and forego that one. We don't know that he's necessarily 3-betting wide in this spot, so he put a pretty tough decision. I mean, I think we would just have to shove. But I think there's more plus EV spots than opening that. I mean, doesn't look like he's going anywhere. He's pretty much got almost the biggest stack on the table. You got this guy that could obviously bust him, but long. Holy crap, sorry about that. Ouch, that hurt my ears. Yeah, I could flat this sometimes, but this is more of an aggro fish. This could be the same player. No, he hasn't 3-bet yet, so maybe not. Oh, it's only 7 hands, so we don't know yet. Probably not, though. I need to be shoving wide against this player, and I think this is good enough. I don't think this is marginal at all. I think it's a pretty big slam dunk here. At least the first time. We probably won't want to do the same hand in the same spot next time because it might tighten up a slight bit. Try and trap me. It's kind of funny, I get the same hand. Is that the same suits? Pretty funny if that's the same suits. It looks like the same suits. Yeah, it was Queen Clubs, Jack Hearts, okay. I'm not gonna do it again. I'm gonna stick to my plan, although it's tempting. I think it's probably, if I hadn't shoved the last one, that one would be plus EV. Pretty sure this guy's just anything but 7 deuce and type hands he's probably opening. And maybe even some of those just to be cute. Like 7 deuce suited or something. The king 5 offsuit's probably not good enough to continue with here. Just gonna bide our time. And then hope to win when we're ahead there against his. We certainly will be ahead of his range most when we get it in. It reads here, so we'll fold that vacuum. Well, it's not a vacuum. We know these guys aren't fish, so I think we'll play a little tight. This guy might be, so I want to target him. And I just drank a gallon of water like today so far, so I might have to get up and take a little break here in a little bit. Not quite a gallon, but like probably drank over 80-90 ounces today. Just getting close. I try to drink near a gallon a day lately. And once you do that for a while, your body starts to crave it. And if you don't drink that much, it tells you. And actually, a lot of people would mistake that for hunger, but it's not. Your body just wants the water. Anyway, neither here nor there. I've played a couple hours the day before, and for the first 45 minutes of the first session, it was kind of blah. I think I lost. I didn't win one all-in. I think there were only 2 or 3 all-ins. It was kind of one of those blah sessions, and then all of a sudden, the last 10 minutes of that session, 10 or 15 minutes, just like floodgates. I won like 5 or 6 all-ins before I quit the session. At like, well, exactly. I played exactly an hour. And then I just played another hour a couple hours ago and ran like the Holy Father again. So I ran pretty bad after midnight last night. I played late sessions. Oh, pretty sure that today has offset that. Who knows how much I'm up today? Probably a couple hundred, I would guess. Somewhere between 100 and 300, but probably around 150 to 200. Be a guess. Depending on how bad that last. I mean, it was pretty bad last night. I was about to quit, and I really wanted to keep playing. So I had jacks. Yeah, you know what's coming. It's not really a bad beat. So there was an aggro guy on the button, and there was a fish in the blind, so I limped. And as planned, the aggro guy ISOs me. The fish calls the 5x, 4x raise. And the 4x ISO. And I shove my jacks, and he tanks. He runs his timer all the way down to his extra timer or whatever. Takes a full minute to minute and a half, and then he calls with ace queen suited. And flop was clean, but he spiked a queen on the turn. And I had already doubled up on that table, so it was for 2 buy-ins. So I stuck to I was like, okay, if I win this pot, I'm going to quit and only play 1 hour. But I lost it, so I went ahead and played another hour. And ran like ass again and probably dropped 3 or 4 buy-ins. So maybe by losing that, I lost more than the 2 buy-ins. I lost another 3 or 4. But it's okay. I mean, I got in a lot. There was... the games were good, so I definitely don't regret playing. And I did suck out once or twice myself during that last day. It was crazy. It was a crazy hour. Honestly, it was. There were a lot of all-ins. I probably lost 5 out of 8 or something. 5 out of 7, 6 out of 8, something like that. I don't know exactly. But I did also run into a flop set once. So I lost that one with an overpair. And I think there was one other where I had trips, he had trips, but he had a boat. So I lost this one post flop. So I was probably down 120 to 150 last night. After that, including that 2 buy-in dump. So not the worst in the world, but I think I've recovered that and then some today. So overall, past midnight, I'm probably up 50 to 100 bucks today. But we don't care about that, right? All we care about is just playing good poker. So I think I'm going to take this moment to take a little break here. I apologize for this, but I'll be right back. This is a good spot since we don't have any hands right now. Oh, I spoke too frickin' soon. I gotta play this one, right? Come on! Eyeballs are floating. Well, that's what I was gonna bet. Alright, sucker. I'm pretty sure you got like 7s there, so I don't think you're folding to a raise. And I can't call. So I'll be right back. Oops, I'm talking here. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I forgot to turn my microphone back on, so I didn't say anything worth even repeating. So all I said was versus this guy right here. I have to be wary about check shoving again. And then on here I said he probably has King Jack when he does that so quick. But he ended up having Ace Jack. I was just guessing a Jack X hand anyway. And people don't usually shove like that so quickly when they have something like a set or raise that quickly. So yeah, Diego, I'm doing a bankroll challenge. It's not that aggressive anymore. It was aggressive. And it's still semi-aggressive. It's just not like it was. I was doing like 20 buy-ins, but now that I've settled into higher, more mid-stakes, or small stakes now, I guess. We're rolled for 200 and 400 NL probably right now, as far as being aggressive is, but Ignition Poker had their changes, so I'm kind of adjusting to that. So I decided to take a month of just 100 NL and play a high volume and just kind of acclimate to the new environment. And then reevaluate at the end of the month on how I'll proceed. So I wouldn't mind doing a super aggressive challenge like that at some point, starting at like 100 NL to maybe build a roll on a site. But I want to wait till I haven't even established. I've cashed out way too many times over the years in a nutshell, and I haven't really established that roll yet to play high and mid and high stakes. So that's what I'm doing with this challenge. I'm trying to just establish a roll. So I have a goal of 10,000, and once I have that, I'll probably settle into a stake of my choice, depending on how high I think I can soundly beat the games, with some shots, you know. Probably 200 NL would be my bread and butter stake. And then obviously on a Friday night or when the games are good, I could play 400 NL, even higher. And then once I establish an even bigger roll, you know, like 30 grand or something, I could try to break through and become a rig at 600 NL and 100 NL. I mean, I'm sorry, 600 NL and 1K NL. And maybe do shots at 2K NL at that point. Of course, it's 50 big blind buy-in, so I would have to play a mid-stack, more of a higher mid-stack strategy, which I think I can do. But that's way down the road. So we'll just focus on what we're doing right now first, which is grinding up this 10K bankroll. And after this month, assuming that I'm above X amount, I don't know, I haven't chosen the amount. I'm only going to keep a certain number of buy-ins on the site. It's just like anybody, we're a little wary, we should be a little wary of keeping too much money on any given poker site. So you only want to keep a minimal amount of buy-ins. Like, basically what I want to do is keep the amount of buy-ins that that allows me to play. And then once, let's say I busted the roll, it would be the same amount that I would move down. That way I don't have to look at the cashier, but if I ever get that message, you don't have enough money, I know it's time to move down, and I would just reload and move down and play a lower stake. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't know what that is yet. Could be as low as 10 buy-ins. Probably more like 15 to 20. Depending on what stake I'm choosing. Like if I'm going to play 200, I might be playing 100. Just depends on how this month goes, but I could be playing 100 again next month. If I'm playing 200, I'd probably want something like 1,200 to 1,500 to start the month. And if I busted that, I would just play 100 NL for the rest of the month. I'd reload 500 or something, and go from there. So something like that. Anyway, I think that's smart nowadays. Because you never know. I mean, what could happen? I mean, we know what happened on Black Friday, and it's been 5 years, right? Still, that sour taste is in my mouth and a lot of others, although I didn't have the issue that a lot of players did, like losing their entire rolls or large portions of them. Luckily, at that time, I was staked. We got his money back at least, you know, because he was on. I was being staked for stars. But that's neither here nor there. Actually, it's both here and there, isn't it? I hope that answers your question. So I haven't even heard of Isildur's 7 buy-ins up. I don't even know what that is. I'm assuming, is that current? Is he doing a challenge now, or is that something he did in the past? I'm just going to check fold here. Yeah, I just realized that that's that 8760 guy. I forgot. I should have been limping those 7s there. Yeah, that should have been a limp, because I think he's ISOing wide probably. Of course he limped there, but at least he's probably not folding, so you're seeing the same, you're getting the same result regardless. So you might as well just play the smaller pot. This is a really nasty board for my aces for his calling range there. So either he's going to check fold like a small pair, or he's going to smash this flop in a lot of ways, like with his higher cards. So I kind of want to keep this down to 2 streets. So unless he's got 10s here, or some kind of 10x hand, I'm probably... yeah, I mean, this is just a spot I probably have to fold my aces here. I mean, is he normally bluffing a hand like 6s here? Because when I check back there, it looks kind of strong. This is his first 3-bet, so I'm going to fold the jacks. I'm going to fold the aces here. I'm going to make a hero fold. I don't think it's that hero-y. I just think that board it just smashes his range, and I think he's going to try and check down a lot of hands like 7s, 6s, 5s. And he's just going to have it there a lot. He's going to have Queen X, he's going to have the pocket pairs or whatever. He's going to have 10x a lot. Who knows? I mean, he did limp call, right? So, yeah. So, he's 25-0 with, like, no aggression so far. I'm just going to give him credit, you know, on his first time. He could have, it's possible, I don't have a read yet, he could be overvaluing something. But I'm just going to always give the benefit of the doubt on the first instance. And we'll go with our read later if it changes, but he still looks like this passive guy. Do we just ship here? Let's see, is he in the big blind? There's worse 2 pairs here. If he has 6-8 or a set, or 8-10, I guess he's just got us. There's a chance he's bluffing, yes. Do we want to give him some rope? Yeah, let's just call here and give him some rope. It's a pretty good, that's actually a pretty good river card for us. Because hands like 9x might call a bet now. Wow! So I'm going to go ahead and bet a value bet here. I'm sure he's got like ace-9 here. Or actually, ace-7, pocket 8s, something like that. I mean, we have a blocker, obviously, against him having a 9, although it's possible. But thank you very much for the follow. I do appreciate that. Let me see if I can figure the name out here. MHC2. I do appreciate that. This guy's pretty aggro, but it's his first 3-bet. We're just going to give him credit here. I'll find a different table because this one doesn't look that great. Whoops. Well, we're going to give it a second. We don't want to get back on that crappy table, so let's just give it a second here. Nice in the past to climb nosebleeds. This is Diego saying this. Yeah, nice in the past to climb nosebleeds. Red line down, but still winning. 20 big blind for 100 matters when you up levels. So, Isildur is winning at a 20 big blind win rate? Is that what you're saying? Against what type of competition? Because that's pretty strong. It must be a heads-up challenge then, because that's more like a heads-up win rate, right? For some of the best players. He must be not playing, unless he's just running hot, he's probably not playing the best in the world then, which is fine. He should be playing. It's hard for him to be anonymous, but I guess there's probably rich people that would give him action though, right? Just because they want to play against Isildur. I think that would be more of an action attractor than the opposite. We're just going to flat here with our strong hand in the blinds. just play a pot. And obviously with a 2.5 SPR, we're just going to commit here. It's not the most ideal spot, but I still think it's plus EV. There's worse queens, there's 5-6, there's flush draws, you know. There's all kinds of hands that would get it in that are worse than ours. It's a really good turn card. We'll protect. Could be a bet fold. Yeah, I don't think worse is going to raise us here. Anything worse that we're beating would probably... I mean, not anything worse that we're beating. Anything worse that would have bet the turn is what I'm saying, rather than raising bet the flop rather than raise. I know what I'm saying here. Sorry, I think you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm having a little disconnect with my brain and my tongue today, so I apologize for that. Yeah. Kind of a bad turn. Yeah, I think we'll just check. Fold. Could he be slow playing a jack here? I doubt it. It's most like a good. What can we get value from a 10x hand? Like 250? And maybe also induce. We're obviously committed here. If he has a flush or a boat right now, we're just going to have to call it off. We're not going to make our hand with 8-9 and then check fold or bet fold. So thanks again for the follow. I do appreciate that as well. Scott 4 1984. Do appreciate the follow. As we try to build the bankroll. And we started at $25, 66 cents. Back in November, late November, basically December, early December. Played maybe 1 or 2 sessions in November, short sessions. So it's basically December, January, February, March, April, May. So we're going on 6 months here. So definitely been a roller coaster the last couple of months. We've been slowly rebuilding from our fiasco. I mean, we did win the tournament though, so that kind of offset that fiasco. We're probably about where we should be right now. Not should be, I guess that's a bad word to use in poker, but where we would be reasonably expect to be if we ran average rather than either really bad or really good. Of course, we don't know where we're at. I've been playing for 2 weeks now without looking at the cashiers, so. Right. Still waiting on a spot versus this guy. Not happening for us. Guess we had our spot. It was the pocket sevens, but we didn't take advantage of it because I'm too busy going to the bathroom and flapping my lips. Blah, blah, blah. We get in versus the 8-10 suited monster here and make a boat. That is good. So what the hell, did he just cold call? How much you want to bet he was going to call this guy's bet? And then I shoved and he accidentally snap called me? I think that happens sometimes. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened there. Do we limp shove? I think we can just barely here. I think we can. Doesn't work out for us, oh well. Hey, Mr. Hunker Down, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Well, maybe we'll get to see a limped pot here with a pretty decent hand, I don't know. Sometimes your plan just doesn't work out as planned. We got backdoors in the middle pair hand here. Do we float one street and commit if we improve? Could this be like a worse 8? Could it be 5-6 of spades or something? These guys are behind us. I think 3-1 almost. We can call one street here. And we know if he has like 8-4 and we hit an ace, we're probably getting the rest of the money. Which could also make a king or a queen an out for us as well, so. I'm guessing he probably just has a queen here most of the time. Or an 8. This guy bets we're just gone because I'm pretty sure he just has like queen 3. Yeah, so I mean it makes sense. It's definitely in his range. But I think it was still worth a call, and obviously we're not folding the turn once he bets $1. We had the right price to improve there. This guy's been pretty nitty so far. I have to flat though with the ace-10. This type of player also tends to play fit or fold sometimes, this type of player, so we might be able to. I like to have some backdoor equity when I check call, but he checks back. We could have the best hand here as well, so he could maybe call here with ace-7 or something, and we get to the showdown with the best hand. So we could be betting for value there when we bet. We don't have to be bluffing. Diego says, was a promotion on PokerStars reward winners to high stakes with cash. 50 stakes, first 50k, so high stakes party poker reward 5% of your rate. Cool stuff. Yeah, that sounds cool. So I guess we shipments here. Go for the gusto. Uh-oh, flip. Oh, queen? Guess a queen doesn't do anything for us, right? We need a club on the turn, not him to make a boat, but it's a flip, whatever. So Doug Polk is getting off Twitch, moving stream over to YouTube. Oh, so I guess they do streaming on YouTube now. Right, so. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. It would be kind of nice just to stream the same place that I don't think I'd have to upload YouTube videos anymore if I did that, right? Does it automatically go to your channel when you stream there? Kind of set up for Twitch now. Although it's probably easy to switch, right? I think we have to shove here. We just have to. Okay, well, that's not good. Wow, that's a really. I guess he was I guess he was committing pre-flop. I don't know. I was obviously committed pre-flop, so it's the same result either way. This guy's 29-14 over 7 hands. This is obviously a really strong play here. So how are we doing against his range? Right? So, not very well, I don't think. I mean, we know he's not doing this with ace-queen, right? I mean, we don't know much about this player. He could be. But it's more likely that he's going to be ahead. So, I think is this a fold? With for 2 buy-ins here? Running out of time. I'm just going to fold. I'm pretty sure we're crushed by this guy's range. I mean, I think best case scenario he has ace king there. Or jacks. I mean, queens obviously we're flipping against, but I don't know. We give him a range of jacks plus ace queen suited. Let's see how we're doing. We have 42% equity. That might seem a little weak tight to you guys, but open from under the gun, call, and he makes it $12. And I mean, obviously his stats just normalized maybe a little bit, but I don't know. Is that a ship? I think you just have to go with what you know, right? People from the big blind in that spot typically are not going to be doing that light. I mean, he could be. We just don't know, right? But I think it's better with a double up like that. Just go ahead and err on the side of caution. I basically have a drawing hand there. Ace king is not the nuts in that spot. For 30 big blinds, certainly I'm not folding. But it's a little bit different. A little bit different. Why is this guy not? I guess he did scared of some. I don't know. Okay, so We'll move on. I had too many hands going on there, and I'm talking too much. I probably would have landed on a shove there eventually if I had more time to think. That's not a spot that comes up that often, honestly, so I gotta sweat it. If it is plus EV there, it's like slightly plus EV. Serious, like, I mean, I min raise, so it's like slightly plus EV. So I'm basically risking $58 when I know I'm behind like 85% of the time plus. That's just not a good proposition in my opinion. And you see people throw 100 big blind stacks into the middle all the time, right? With ace king offsuit, and it's just bad. Especially in a vacuum spot like this. There's no dynamic there to just let you think that maybe he's light, right? So you can argue with me all you want. I'm pretty confident I like my fold. Board's much better for his range. No chance to improve. I'll have to look into that YouTube streaming thing, although I like Twitch, so. I like watching videos on Twitch. I like twitching. I mean, I kind of think I'll just stick with what I'm doing, unless there's some dramatic thing I don't know about. Some huge advantage that I don't know about. Find a better table here. I'm not gonna flat this. Is this the same table? I don't know. We're gonna stay though, because even if it is, this guy just sat down and he's short, so. Trying to exploit that. It's a BS race, really. If I had the ace of hearts, I might continue here. Repping nothing, but could be a draw of some kind. 6, 7 of hearts, I don't know. But really, it's just he probably thinks I have nothing, so he's betting, you know. But I don't have a read. He's short stack, could be a fish, could be a passive fish for all I know, so I have to maybe err on the side of caution there. Out of position. Not gonna make your living off of playing back at passive fish with on a 995 two-tone. Diego is asking, I see that move slow play, check raise, limp shove with premiums. Is it profitable? In certain spots it is. Like if you got a guy that's ISOing a lot and then calling it off light, potentially, that's a really good spot to do that. Just depends on the premium hand. Ace King is obviously much better because you like to see all 5 cards. Rather than him flatting out of position and you having a tough time of it. So hands like Ace King, Ace Queen are good for that. And also small pairs as well. I guess we'll just bet here. And once again, no read. It's a minus EV spot. Wow, I feel good. Oh, I thought I bet there. Thank you for the follow. I do appreciate it. Let's see if we can find a better table here. Yeah, that's a different table, I think. I don't know if that one was so bad, but it looked like I didn't see anybody 60-0 or anything, so I consider that bad. DJ Plays Poker, thank you very much for the follow. I do appreciate it. Thanks everybody for tuning in today, watching us flounder around here with our little tiny short stack. Just trying to piss off all the regs. That's basically why we do this, right? Not really, but tongue-in-cheek, but there is some profit in that. People hate short stacks, you know. Not that we're a short stack. I mean, we're 30 big blinds. 30 to 40 big blind is more like a cap stack. Not a true 10, 20 big blind shove bot, you know. We play post-flop. We just have a lower SPR environment to play in and have this. We threaten an all-in bet at any time, so makes it pretty tough to play against. And you get to squeeze, shove, and see all 5 cards with your ace-queen here versus a normal 3-bet, and then you got to play a perhaps multi-way flop on a bad board sometimes. And you can also get this to happen, right? Where you get somebody just to call it off with 6-3. And, I mean, how easy is that, right? Do you think he's really going to call like a 12... Even if he calls like a 12 big blind 3-bet there, he's going to have to check fold a lot. We're getting all of it when we shove. Whereas somebody that 3-bets and then he check folds is only getting that $10, $12, right? We get the full measure of the equity advantage in that spot. So what was our equity there? Since he was suited, it probably wasn't as good as if he was offsuit, but still pretty damn good, I would think. So is this a tilt raise, or does he legitimately have a 6 here? It's possible. So I don't think we could just fold though. I think we got to be wary of this guy. I mean, these players could have 7-8 for sure. I think this is an excellent spot to continue heads up, but this guy has me scared here. And actually, with 30 big blinds, I think with the information we have right now, this could actually be a check shove. Or I mean, yeah, check shove. But with this guy involved, unfortunately, he folds. I'm pretty sure we're good there. A lot. It's just a matter of this guy just kind of screwed, right? I mean, what do we do? Flat 13 there, and this guy shoves, and we have to fold? I mean, that's probably going to be happening 30% of the time when he flats that flop on a 6-6-9. Or he has ace-9 and calls, and we're just drawing to an 8 or a 9. So I think we're just better off playing it the way we did. We'll definitely want to try and get this table back at some point. This guy's definitely, maybe he's not tilting as much now, but he was definitely, that's a pretty common thing that you see. Unfortunately, this guy spoiled our party. We have a lot of potential improvement possibilities here, so we're definitely c-betting the king high 7-6 board. Although it's not the worst board in the world to c-bet. And maybe I could have made that $3 to stop a light re-raise like this. So maybe that was a slight betting error there. I should have been betting $3 versus 2. Because it does make a big difference. 3 looks like, yeah, we're value betting. 2 looks like we're just doing a normal half pot stab. So if we had like top pair there, we'd want to bet 2, right? And the concept is pretty effective out there, and most of you probably already know this. You want to bet your strong hands like you have a bluff, and bet your bluffs like you have a strong hand. That type of thing. I see some new faces watching today. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. I see some old ones. Guys that have been with me since the beginning. So I do appreciate the loyalty. You guys sticking with me through this. I know I haven't been the best streamer in the world. I've taken hiatuses. If this was suited, I would call here, but I'm not going to, as is. Obviously, this is a really good spot here with 9-8 suited and these two guys in the blinds. I expect this guy to have a higher 3-bet percentage than he normally would because it's me. Just beat him out of a pot earlier. Of course, we're not even going to get that opportunity because this guy spoiled the party. Yeah, whatever. Is this the same table? I don't know. Maybe. Were these guys full? I remember this guy being 30. If it is the same table, we just got lucky. That's kind of one of the advantages of the new way they do things. There's no rat hole timer anymore. So once you go to a new table, it could be the same table you just left, and sometimes that's advantageous to you. I'm pretty sure that'll become apparent fairly quickly. Hey, DJ Plays Poker. Yes, sir. I am a 30 to 40 big blind player, and if the table is not amazing, and I get up on the table, I leave. Otherwise, if I double up and I'm out of my comfort zone, which is 60 big blinds. Not that I'm not comfortable playing 60. It's just the fact that when I have 60 big blinds or 55 big blinds, I lose a few tools in my arsenal. A lot of the shoves, the low SPR spots, things like that. It's just not my game anymore. So most players are comfortable playing 100 big blinds, and when they get down to 60 or 50, they feel uncomfortable. Or when they get down to 30, they feel uncomfortable. So I don't ask them not to rebuy. So by the same token, when I double up, people can't expect me to play somebody else's game, right? So when you're a specialist in something, you want to stick to what you know. So I hope that explains it. Yeah, I do. Long story short, yes. But not for the reason most people think, like I'm just trying to be a scumbag or something. Because I can play a 100 big blind stack. I actually prefer to play a 200 big blind stack over a 100 big blind stack. I just feel like I'm leaving the realm of my specialty when I do that. When I don't do that, don't leave. It's nothing personal against these players. I mean, we're not sitting in a live poker setting. It's not like I'm going to leave the table and somebody else isn't going to join. We're not losing a player from the games. Those rules of etiquette were put in place for live games years and years and years, and they're very archaic. So the stigma against that still persists nowadays. But whatever, dude. I'm here to make money. I'm not trying to please people, right? There's no rule against it, so we do it. Okay, we got a good spot here with a bad flop, a very bad flop, because we have very few outs, and he hits the virtual nuts there. But a very good spot for us, obviously. We'll accept that we won a bunch of EV dollars there. You can't win them all. Sometimes you win when you're behind, sometimes you lose when you're ahead. We've been running pretty good today, so we're bound to lose something at some point. Do not have a good price here to do anything, so we'll just do that. Do this. I bet pretty big on this turn to protect our hand and to discourage like some kind of weird bluff raise on that board on the turn. And for value as well. I mean, somebody could definitely have 10x there. Some kind of draw. I don't always leave, actually, DJs. That's a good point. If there's like a maniac to my right, or left even, a lot of times I'll stay. If it's just like a huge whale that's just giving money away hand over fist, I will stay. But that's kind of a rare spot. Doesn't come up that often. I think we just call here, right? Kind of check back the flop to keep it down to 2 streets. Let's bet small here and induce something from this guy. Okay, or mitigate our losses at the same time, right? So that worked out. Most players, I believe, would lose their whole stack in that spot, right? It's just not one of those boards that you're going to see a huge profit by just getting it in. Either they're going to have a huge draw and they have a bunch of equity, or you're drawing damn near dead, like in that situation right there. So most people think on really wet boards, it's just you just always have to just pile it in, right? It's not true. Not if you have a vulnerable hand like I did. This guy's pretty passive so far. It's only 14 hands. 2 overs and gut shot. I'm not folding. Do we just peel 1 street? I think we peel 1 street. If he was 3 aggression 2 or 3 aggression factor, we would just do we bet fold here? It's unlikely he is going to be able to call anything. Maybe he might bluff at that though. Yeah. I mean, he probably had nothing that could call, so we get 3-bet here on our hijack open. This guy's 3-betting 2 out of 9 now. Probably a fold. Yeah, this isn't really a good dynamic for us, so we're probably leaving this table. These two players, I'd like to be in one of these two seats. We're just gonna make a tight fold here. If we had like 14 or 12 big blinds, we probably wouldn't be able to fold. This guy does appear to be somewhat aggro. He could definitely have like as low as 7s there. Maybe even sometimes king jack. Maybe some kind of suited connector that's just in his range. Okay, Diego asks, why check behind mid pair jack jack and a queen xx4? Well, I had yeah. It was a pretty dynamic board, so I don't want to bet fold the best hand. So on turns, people aren't as likely to commit if he happened to have a big draw. So if he continues on the turn, he's probably got a pretty strong hand, or we're making him make a mistake. So my specific idea was to raise the turn if he leads. So I was checking back to raise the turn and either set up a cheaper showdown for myself with potentially the best hand against the worst hand, or mitigate my losses if he did happen to have a strong hand. It's unlikely that he'll have a draw on the flop. It checked through, and then when I raised the turn for him just to pile it in, because he only has one more street for his draw, so he can't just bet shove because he probably thinks that I'm committed when I raise as a short stack on the turn. So basically what I'm saying is it's like a free card play when I check back the flop. I'm getting just as much value by raising the turn because I'm basically raising what I would have bet over 2 streets anyways. And I'm also mitigating the times that I'm behind at the same time. So I could easily just raise fold the turn because when he's re-raising me back, he's got second pair beat. Does that make sense? Most people do bet that flop, and it's not a mistake. It's probably plus EV. Just I think I found a better way, right? But you're not allowed to use that move. Forget I even said that. Erase it from your memory. You didn't hear it from me. Why would I give away this information? I don't know why I give away this information. When you say that, I probably should just say because I misclicked, right? It was a misclick. That move is actually really effective if you're playing 100 big blind stack. So for you people that play, you know, full, quote-unquote full stacks, deep stacks, whatever. Well, anything above 80, 60, whatever, that's a really effective play for you because you're guaranteed to never have to get all in with the worst hand there. Gotta do it. Don't want to do it, but gotta do it. Got this guy in the blinds, got this guy. Don't mind playing multi-way with Jack 10 suited. Kind of the nut drawing hand, right? I mean, even this flop right here is like half the time we're going to get a favorable turn card. Check back this one. He min raises, and he's a very tight player. We're getting 5 to 1. So if we got like a queen of diamonds, I know that's asking a lot on the turn, we could commit. These players tend to bet small, so if I call and get like a flush draw on the turn or a queen on the turn or something like that, I probably could call his small turn bet. I think 5 to 1 I'm just required to call here. Do we get a diamond? So if he bets like less than 7 here, 8, probably can continue. We're getting a free card here, which is awesome. I'm going to take it. I'm definitely not, because he could have like king 7 here. We don't want to get check raised off our backdoor equity because we kind of call there to realize equity, and we're not allowing ourselves to realize equity if we just bet the turn. He's pretty passive. What could he possibly have here that he's going to now fold? 3-5? I just don't know. We don't improve. It's a very dry board. Usually he just has it when he does this. I'm guessing he has like I'd be amazed if he doesn't have at least, I mean, at bare minimum King X, but I'm probably thinking like set of 4s. I'm not calling here, I'm not shoving, obviously I'm just talking, but yeah, I shouldn't slow fold, but I want him to, I don't mind doing that anyway. But, so I paid 250 to win a ton of money long term, so it worked out for me there. Oh, hey Marbler, I'm sorry I missed your hello there. I was involved in... Oh no, don't do this shit to me! Half the time when it does this, or maybe even more than half the time, it brings you back to the table, but it kicks you off. Oh, please don't kick me off my tables. Son of a biscuit eater. Kick me off every single one. Take this one back. Back. We don't get a choice on any of these, but we'll take our same damn seats. Same damn seats. I mean, at least it's not like the old days where you're just completely kicked off and you don't even have the option to come back. Sometimes that actually works out in my favor when that happens, though. Very rarely, like when there's 2 seats available and now I can move to a different seat against a fish. In the old days when there was the rat hole timer, it really sucked because you couldn't come back to your tables at all. Is this our ace-jack buddy here? I think so. He opened ace-jack last time. He steals 83% though. So if he has better than 5s here, or is even flipping and calls, it's just a huge freaking cooler. Ginormous. Because he's opening 86%. Now, well, how many hands is that over? Like, a lot, right? Yeah, well, that's 6 of 7. He's probably opening close to 100% blind versus blind there. I would think. It's a small sample, though. Guess it doesn't really matter. Anything over 50, I can still shove super wide. In fact, anything over 50 is almost any 2, isn't it? With my stack size. Almost. Probably could get rid of a hand like 7 deuce offsuit or 9 deuce offsuit. But if you looked at the plus EV part there, depending on his calling range, which I'm pretty sure is pretty tight. A little tight in the it's actually probably pretty good. This type of player probably has a pretty good calling range there. He probably errs a little bit on the tight side, which means it could be any 2, but it's probably, if he has a reasonable calling range, he probably needs to be like 56% or something for it to be any 2. And we could pull it up in Crev. You guys really wanted to see that I'm not just talking out of my ass here. Whoops, I might be calling here. We have 2 fish here. 3 calls. This guy's not like super aggro. Yeah, I think I'll pay 250 with a pretty strong drawing hand. Yeah, so we get this like 1.5 SPR, and unfortunately, we might be committed here. Yeah, I think no matter what happens, we're committed. And we're just, I don't know what we're hoping for here, because when this guy blasts into 5 players, can I ever fold this? What could he have that I'm ahead of right now? Flush draw, I guess. 7-8. Worst jack? I mean, he is a fish. Man, we may be throwing away a buy-in, but I think hitting top pair, we just have to play here. I mean, sucks, but we just got to. Oh man, we got the flush draw we wanted to be against. So the set was irrelevant, because we would have lost a flush draw anyway. But this guy opens, gets 5 callers, and hits a set. Holy shit, that's lucky. How do you do that stuff? So, I mean, maybe that's an argument for not even calling with Queen Jack there. Wouldn't we rather much have an open ender there than what we had? You know, I was thinking, like, what might happen is this guy has like a flush draw, and this guy has like aces, right? And I think if you ran the math on that, I don't know if we can, if we knew that, could we even put it in then? I don't know. Is that a fold? Top pair? I mean, the thing about that is these are not strong players. So sometimes you can be really silly and make a hero fold there, and this guy shows up with Jack 9 and this guy shows up with Jack Deuce or something. And then you feel like a total dumbass. So we have to figure that in as like a possibility, right? So like 15% of the time that's going to happen. Probably 40% of the time we're just crushed, and then another 40% we probably have outs that are reasonable. And so yeah, that probably makes up most of it there. Yeah. I'm not going to flop top pair in a 6-way pot, have a chance to triple up, and just freaking fold though. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's a mistake. Right, guys? You guys going to back me up on that? For 30 big blinds? If it was 100 big blinds, that's one thing. 30 big blinds? Marlboro says having success at Global, playing a tournament, some SNGs, tripled up, and not looking back so far. Cool. So the games are pretty soft overall, you would say? Assuming yes. But I'd like to know, I mean, so if you have a table, well, wait, you play sit and goes at tournaments. I mean, they're like super soft here. So I'm guessing it's like 4 or 5 fish on every table, right? As far as 9-handed, and like 3 or 4 fish on every table 6-handed. For tournaments and sit and goes. That's what it kind of sounds like. So that was kind of a bummer that we couldn't get like best case scenario there or something. I mean, we were drawing pretty dead. I mean, it was kind of, this guy just blasting that flop made you think overpair or something. But this guy could have like crap, right? And we have all of our outs with Queen Jack and a 3-way all in. Like $20 to win 90, right? Or something like that. $28 to win 95 or something like that. That is the right price to put it in if you know somebody has an overpair and you just have one pair, because your odds of making 2 pair are going to make it profitable? I don't know. I think if I could change one thing about that hand, it's probably folding pre-flop. Normally in that spot, I would only call with suited cards. Right? So maybe that was my mistake, is playing the hand at all. Should have just folded pre. Maybe I'll just make that a rule. Needs to be suited. Because really, when you play a hand like that, you're looking to make draws. You're not looking to make top pairs necessarily. This guy has to do this bullshit. See, I was going to check shove, but now I just have to freaking shove. God dang it. It's like minimum value here, right? Okay. Oh. Seriously? Ugh. Well, you can see this is a good table. I mean, what does he think I'm going to turn over there? I guess I could have 2 overs and a flush draw, but I'm kind of ahead of his 7-4. Man, couldn't we get just like ace-king there or something? Or at least not be a 7? Could it be like the bottom end of his 2 pair or something? That way I still have outs. Just make me instantly draw 2 outs, right? So, I mean, we had some double ups early in this session, so it's not like we're like way down or something. Maybe we'll do a little bit of extended session here. This is a vacuum, so we can shove blind versus blind basically here. It's actually better to do this than flat because we're out of position. We get little flipaments here. Oh my god. That is fucking horrible. Excuse my French. That is brutal. I thought I was like, you know, I always have these premonitions in my head like, uh-oh, this flop is way too good for us. He's got to hit a 6. Wow, so that's a 2-outer, well, less than a 2-outer, so like 5-outer here, and then a 2-outer on the river there. Okay. What can we do? It was a flip. He won the flip. It's always shocking though when it happens that way, you know. So we're targeting. Oh wait, this guy's 38-38. Okay, I misread this completely. I thought that was like 38-0. Yeah, so this is probably a marginal opening here. Doesn't matter because we're going to fold anyway, but this is a little bit marginal. And I think it's okay in the hijack. In this dynamic, though, I think it's probably just a fold pre-flop. It's okay. It's a small mistake. It might still be close to break even anyway. Not a big deal. We'll play another. We'll record another 15 minutes here. Give you guys a little bonus coverage. Normally, I've been doing an hour lately. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. This is a call here. Queen Jack offsuit should be a fold, but 9-10 suited is a call in this dynamic here. You can flop flush draws, straight draws, pairs, you know, all kinds of crap. The flush draw is huge. It's that extra 3% or whatever. We don't flop anything this time though. The HUD is Hold'em indicator. I can give you a link. We could shove there sometimes, but I'm at full 30 big blinds. I think just bleeding is probably prudent. This guy isn't necessarily a fish here, so I'm not going to call with the Queen Jack suited. I'm going to call one street here. This guy could definitely have flush draws, 10x. I'm going to min raise the turn. Look like I'm committed here. He calls with all his draws, and we could easily get away from it if a bad card comes in the river. And now we could just realize our hand. And he just had a 10. We profit. That's my move, guys. Stay away from it. Seriously. You know, I just realized something. That disconnect thing happened to me last night. And before the disconnect, I was running kind of like God. And then right after the disconnect, I lost like everything in a row. Didn't that just happen to me again? So next time I disconnect, I'm taking a freaking break. I don't want to be superstitious, but that shit is annoying. Two buy-ins here and one buy-in here. Of course, this one's kind of redonkulous. This guy's 55-9 now. Wow, this is close. Yeah, I'm gonna open that. Why not? I think we have to c-bet because we have 7 high. Although a lot of this board connects well with him, and we're not gonna get the chance, so it's regardless. I mean, it's moot point. Moot point. Ooh, we sit down to kings. Very, very nice. It's gonna look, you know, that's one cool thing about this. It looks really fishy. When somebody raises and we shove our first hand at the table, people call pretty light there, so. Time for a triple up, right? No, don't fold to me. Alright, Mr. 20 big blinds. We slow play? Gotta Got 20 big blinds. We're just gonna give him the whole sandwich here. Damn it. Thought I was getting called there. Could have did a small. Okay, Brian. Thanks. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the good luck. Whatever the hell you're saying. Thanks for the sentiment. Sorry about that. Thanks for saying good luck. I mean. I guess this guy's kind of passive. We just go for 3 streets here. I mean, obviously you know what I'm doing here. Giving this guy a chance to bluff if he's going to bluff, before I put the rest in. Obviously not folding with queen high flush draw and an overcard. Don't want to bet and narrow his range. I want to keep his entire range in there. Let him bluff fold. What's awesome about this is he could have like king high, ace high, and be betting and then folding. Theoretically is really bad for him, because he's actually flip, or right, flipping. Maybe slightly ahead. I don't know. No tree bet. Alright, we'll go another 5 minutos here. I got a limp here, right? Could ISO, but there's nobody really behind that's ISOing, and I want to keep this guy in the pot because he's, well, okay. Small sample. 100-0 over one hand doesn't really mean anything, right? But I don't want this guy just to be blasted out either. He's short. Let's play a pot. Alright, we're not going to mess around with that board. Now we should have blasted him. He's probably not folding. Looks like he's probably short because he lost a big pot or something. Well, maybe not. Who knows? He probably if it did happen, it was before we got here. So yeah. Guy's worth staying for, isn't he? We're gonna stay. This is definitely a good table. Man, it seems like I do the worst on the best tables. This is like an amazing table. Not so good of a table. It's a different table, that's all that matters. Give it a try. I hear birds tweeting outside. It is a nice day. It's a little warm, but in the shade it's actually really nice out there. There's a nice breeze. It's like high of 89 today, but it's probably mid 80s, low 80s for most of the day. It's supposed to be really nice next week. Maybe rain Monday, but after that. Why don't I make my living? I think what Diego's asking is, why don't I make my living off of poker? He said, no limit 100. 100k hands is 10k a month. Well, for one thing, it's impossible. I don't know if it's impossible, but it'd be very, very difficult to play 100k hands in a month on this site. It's 225 hands an hour, right? So 100k hands be 444 hours divided by 4.3. That's 103 hours a week. That's pretty unlikely. But, I mean, obviously you don't have to make 10K a month to make a living. So 50 hours a week, yeah, maybe. Maybe you could make a living. But that's not a great living, so 5K was a great living for me. I would probably consider doing that. But, you know, I'm not just going to jump into something. I would need like a very large poker bankroll to fall back on. Like if you don't have at least, I mean, at minimum 6 months living expenses in your poker bankroll, I think you're setting yourself up for like huge failure. Because you know bad months do happen. We're going to bet this because we have a lot of room for improvement. I mean, yeah, if I had a consistent 5 to 10K winning months, like 12 months in a row, and I put us away like 100 grand, I would consider it. And I mean, I'm more of a 200 NL guy, so I guess I don't have to play as many hands to make that much money. But if, let's say 100 NL was, and it could soon be, like the highest stake I could beat, it's good to know that it's possible to at least make a decent side income, right? Wow, this is a good spot. Please have something. Please have something. Something you can continue with. Alright, well. Wow. Come on, guys. What's going on here? Holy shit. That is just crazy. Are you guys... This is what variance is, right? Where you just get your money in good a lot and lose. That's 3 buy-ins on this table. The first was a queen jack, right? The other 2 are pretty bad, and this one was really bad, so it happens, right? Okay, so we'll just make that the end of the stream. I hate to end on a bad note like that. I was hoping to end on a positive note, but we'll go ahead and call it a day. Thanks everybody for watching. We will see you next time. Be sure to follow the stream if you haven't already. And also be sure to check out my YouTube channel, Automatic Poker, obviously, /Automatic Poker. And I also have a website, automaticpoker.com, if you want to learn more about my strategy. I wrote a book on the subject a few years ago. So be sure to check that out. But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you tomorrow.